Hello and welcome to our monthly online event. This month it is the S word. And no, it's not that word. It's stress with Dr. Kris Sargent. I'm Judy Goss, the founder of Over 40 Females. And this event tonight will be just like the ones thousands of women are attending across the country every month to enhance themselves spiritually, mentally, and physically. With a motivational guest speaker, Dr. Kris Sargent, unique raffle prizes. You do have to stay on the call all the way to the end to win, though. And personal member introductions from Over 40 Females members who have reserved a spot to highlight themselves, and the support of hundreds of women all on this call right now. Very exciting. Over 40 Females is a live and online networking community specifically tailored for women over the age of 40 that speaks to women in transition. And you know that is all of us, okay? Reinvention, transition, we are going through it all. Women that are feeling lost, going through perhaps a recent divorce, experiencing confusing health issues, going through financial upheaval, whether you're suffering financially or got an inheritance you don't know how to manage, the empty nest syndrome that some of us are going through, and just the loneliness that you may be experiencing, going through divorce or problems with your kids or even health issues sometimes tends to isolate you. So we are all in this together, and this is the whole concept of Over 40 Females, women over 40, a close-knit community, and what we can do to connect, encourage, and inspire each other together. We currently have 17 chapters nationwide, and we are growing more and more each day. We just opened up Philadelphia, Pennsylvania chapter a couple of days ago, or was it last night? I guess it was last night. I feel like it's just been a whirlwind. It's so exciting, though. And we're bringing you these powerhouse events monthly online. So this is very thrilling for us. Now that we have all of these live events across the country, we are handing them over online now for the rest of you to experience. And also if you attend the live events too. We're happy to present these. And look, there is our latest press from Good Day Philadelphia. Okay, so Good Day Philadelphia, anchor Mike Jarek and Sue Serio interviewed me the day before the Philadelphia chapter launched, and this was really exciting because they just went on and on about what a great organization for Over 40 Females is, and that everyone in Philadelphia should attend. So that was just thrilling. So if you want to be one of these women who are an official member of our Over 40 Females community, I have a special offer for you in this call that I am going to announce towards the end of the call. It includes a free 30-minute How to Be on TV crash course from me, Judy Goss. I have not only appeared on countless TV segments, both national and regional across the country, hundreds and hundreds of segments, but I've also booked them myself and been pitched as a magazine editor, so I really know what works. So if you sign up as a member this evening, we have a special offer for you as well as a How to Be on TV crash course from me. Okay, What Women Want Talk radio show. I have launched a radio show called What Women Want, and guess who it's featuring? Members of Over 40 Females. In addition to other fabulous people, we had Ariel Ford, the spiritual life guru on, I think it was on our second radio show. And we have a whole host of other celebrities and special guests that come on the show. It's every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you would like to pitch to have you and your business featured or to be a guest, please email whatwomenwantshow@gmail.com. All right, getting our members out there. Speaking of this, we are constantly getting our members noticed and in the press. And this time, in this picture here, it was a member from New York City on ABC Eyewitness News. A couple of months ago, we booked Julia Klein, a speaker from the Speakers Board. She's a member from Chicago. She had her own segment highlighting her book and the event that she was speaking at on NBC. So, and also we have now radio show opportunities. So we are really getting our members out there in the press, promotional opportunities, as well as, like I said before, a close-knit group that is really, really there for each other. My background comes from having been an editor at More and Cosmopolitan magazines and also Moore's national TV spokesperson for almost 2 years. I have been on countless TV segments, as I said before, with more and as a lifestyle expert, and segments from CBS Early Show to Good Morning America. I've been on them all. So I'm also a published author with St. Martin's Press, a TV host, and I am also now a new radio show host. Okay, so we have on the screen right now the current locations of our chapters and future ones that are opening. We are opening 3 to 4 months now. So this is another exciting news. We used to open about one chapter every 2 to 3 months, and then it got faster and faster. And starting in January of this year, we've been opening 3 to 4 a month. So if you go under over40females.com, you click under locations, you'll see all of our locations. If there are some of you out there that are near a chapter in your area, please go to an event. It's very exciting. You will flip out with the level of intensity. And the women, you know, when they come to these events, they just really bond. And we really try to provide resources both for your business and career, but for your social, for the social aspect also. And this was what really differentiates us from other networking groups. We don't just exchange business cards and go home. We really try to enhance people's spirituality and teach them about their health. And you know, maybe if you're going through a divorce, provide resources and perhaps life coaches or guest experts on the expertise of that. So we really are a really well-rounded group. And we are opening in June, South Metro, Minnesota. So that's St. Paul, just south of St. Paul, Columbus, Ohio, Los Angeles, California. And we have more and more chapters opening up throughout the year. So, okay, we have, let's see, the next slide is our incredible members. You know what? We couldn't do it without the members from Over 40 Females. I wouldn't have a company, okay, without all of you joining our membership program and just, you know, supporting us in the way that you do. So we are going to highlight our members later on in this online event. We're going to put their profiles up, and that's the profile, by the way, the one that you see right now is the profile that you get when you become a member, and we do promote that profile, and we're very proud of it. So just a snip about that. Oh, but we're going to the raffle prizes here. I love it. We have raffle prizes that we're announcing at the end of the call. You must be on the call to win, as I said before. A Peter Thomas Roth Beauty Duo worth $80. Wow, love that. Love their products. And we also have what else do we have here? I think we have a Quiet Hero, a book by Mina Cosby. Mina Cosby is an Emmy Award-winning TV host. She was actually the keynote speaker at our Connecticut State Convention, so that's very exciting. Okay, and now I am very thrilled to introduce our special guest of this evening, Dr. Kris Sargent. She is a member of our Chicago chapter, and she was also an Over 40 Female of the Month sometime last summer, so it was very exciting. And Dr. Kris Sargent has been featured on PBS, Healthnet Radio, and ABC News. A doctor of chiropractic for over 21 years, she is owner and clinic director of the Restor Healing Centre in Chicago. Chosen as one of the top 105 chiropractors in Chicago as a 2014 Five Star Chiropractor Award winner. Wow. She has spoken for organizations such as Xerox, ClearBrook, and Willow Creek, just to name a few. Her forthcoming book is called Perfect Self-Confidence, How to Have Vitality, Strength, and Courage. Kris Sargent has spent much of her life making poor decisions based in fear, poor self-confidence, and self-worth. The unconscious personal quest to fill that void ran her into brick walls many times. She has discovered the true source for your self-confidence and self-worth, which will provide the base for a fearless life. You are going to absolutely fall in love with this gal, Dr. Kris Sargent. Thank you so much for coming online tonight.
Thank you so much. Oh, my gosh, I'm so flattered. I'm like, who
please.
are you talking about? Who is that person?
I just think you're the best. And when I wrote that Over 40 Females feature, you know, it was just fascinating the way your mom, you know, is the one that inspires you, and the story that you have and what you're doing for women is just terrific. And I want you to put What Women Want Radio on your bio, too, in addition to ABC News, because we're going to have you on in a few weeks about things that women really don't want to talk about. We're going to bring it all out into the open and lay it all out there.
Well, that sounds like a blast, actually, because in my office we talk about all kind of things that women don't always want to talk about, from their private parts to what happens in the bathroom, and they just don't want to talk about it. So it's quite
right.
funny.
And now I'm going to have to talk about it with I think 3 different doctors on air.
Well, I'm excited because I have no qualms about talking about anything. So
I can imagine.
It's actually kind of funny. Yeah,
No, that's fantastic, and we're going to learn so much from it. So I'm really excited.
Sounds like fun.
All right, go ahead. We're ready for you.
You are? Are you sure?
We're ready.
Well, tonight what I'm going to talk about is the S word, or stress, which sometimes brings out other S words that we won't bring those up tonight. And what we will do is talk about how we can eat, drink, move, and think your way to a stress-free life. And the first part of this is I'm going to just bring out all of the possibilities of stressors in your life. So when we hit about midway, y'all are going to feel kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm a total disaster. But I'm going to bring you up on the other side, and we're going to have some fun. So let's talk about what is stress and what are stressors in our lives. Judy, you mentioned a few of those, divorce, kids. Kids can be a huge stressor, and they can be a big stressor at any age. Some of my patients tell me that, big kids, big problems. Little kids, little problems, right? So
that's
kids
for sure. And you know what? Even when they're out of the house, they move back, and then they move out again, get married, they get divorced, they move back. I mean, it's a constant stress.
It is a constant stress, and those are the things that we all have to learn how to just roll with. And so I'm not going to read my slides because that's y'all can read. So the biggest stressors in our lives really is money, work. Somehow the economy gets in there. Something that we absolutely cannot control, which is an interesting thing. Family responsibilities, relationships. I mean, these are our biggest stressors in our life. And the side effects of those stressors is what you see on this slide. Those are the downstream secondary things that we end up with when we don't manage our stress. There's so much talk about stress management and how important it is, but a lot of us just don't even know where to start, and we give up when we do try to start. Because it's like dieting, right? You do it for a couple of days, and then it's like, forget it. I'm just addicted to the adrenaline, and I'm just going to hang in there. So, but doing that can really create a lot of health issues that we don't even realize are connected to stress. So the eat, drink, move, think piece of this is a big deal. And we don't even realize that the things that we put in our mouth, the things that we drink, how we move or don't move, and the thoughts that run through our head are all things that we can control. Now, I mentioned earlier that on the American Psychological Association's survey that the economy was a big stressor. But you know what? We can't control that. That is not something that's under our thumb to control. But what we eat, drink, move, and think every day is something that we can control. And those are things that can actually play a larger role than the economy in our health. So let's talk about food stress. And if you will look at the top 10 worst processed foods, and yes, this was posted on Facebook, which I think is also kind of funny that we now find that as our resource is Facebook, but it's actually pretty true. And so how many of us have grabbed for one of these processed foods in the last week out of convenience?
Oops. What's even worse is I'm feeding all that stuff to my kids.
Exactly. And what are we teaching them? That this is normal. These are foods.
Yeah.
Right. To me, that's the bigger, scarier piece. To me, that's the bigger why do I need to look at what I'm eating as a stressor in my own life. The bigger issue is, what am I teaching my kids about food? And when I grew up, you mentioned my mom earlier as being sort of my mentor or sort of the impetus for ending up in natural health care. And she was, but she also said no to the Twinkies and the Oreos and the stuff that was on the shelves. And we, as kids, you're like, but Mom, everybody has this stuff, and it was all new then. And she was just like, yeah, but I just made a cherry pie. Like, wouldn't you rather have a piece of fresh cherry pie? And, it's kind of funny because I actually remember having a Tupperware shaped like a piece of pie so that would go in my lunch. So eating fresh foods, I'm not saying that we should all devour cherry pie every morning, but, a piece of fresh homemade cherry pie is probably better than some of these Pop-Tarts that kids eat.
Right, that's for sure.
Right? It's actual fruit. First of all, it's actual fruit and not some fruit byproduct. So food stress is a big deal, and processed foods, sugar, these things take a lot out of us just to be processed through us. And the whole debate about organic versus non-organic, there's a list called the Dirty Dozen, and these are the most pesticide-laden foods. If you can stay away from peppers, grapes, strawberries, the softer types of foods, tomatoes, if you can stay away from those kind of things, conventionally grown, you're going to be way ahead of the game. So, and the Dirty Dozen list is easy to find. You can just Google that. If you can stay away from those foods, those are the ones you want to stay away from. Bananas, it doesn't matter whether they're organic or not. The banana gets peeled. The stuff is on the inside. So you don't have to make yourself nuts or go broke eating organic. You can just eat healthy. I'm a proponent of, we have a store called Aldi here. I don't know if you have Aldi out there, but it's relatively
No, we don't.
You don't? Okay, so it's relatively inexpensive. It's probably one of the least expensive stores for food. And I contend that people who shop at Aldi because they have to shop at Aldi because they have such a limited budget can choose to eat healthy at Aldi. And there's not a reason that you can't choose a $3 bag of carrots over a $3 bag of Doritos. So I just don't think that eating healthy has to be expensive. I just think it can be a choice and can really reduce your stress when we start to do it in a more healthful way. So why are these things so bad anyway? First of all, they do require more energy to break down than they actually create. So have you ever had the experience where you eat lunch and about 2 hours later you just want to take a nap? Like, who doesn't want to take a nap at 2:30 in the afternoon, right?
Every
day. A lot of times, if we just look back at what we ate at lunch, we could find that we did not eat energy-creating food, that we ate food that required a lot of energy to break down. So the ingredients in these are also what's bad. These are not ingredients that you can pronounce. This is not something that grew on a tree. This is not something that grew in the ground. These are things that are made up in a lab. And our bodies are not really designed to break these things down. So they become toxic inside your system and create issues in your liver and your guts. There's no vitamins and minerals inherent in a lot of these foods. They are added synthetically, and they lack a lot of the protective things that we find in actual foods. So I call that stuff junk, and I call food food. Food actually nutrifies your body and builds you up, as opposed to breaking you down faster than it builds you up. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So that's, okay, good. So here's a little bit more. I call these the Gutsy Gal Geek Alert because I've just branded out my podcast as the Gutsy Gal. And so this is a Gutsy Gal Geek alert. So for those of you who get kind of bogged down in too many details, this is going to be the moment. But here's what actually happens when we eat all this crappy food. We end up with up and down blood sugar reactions. And when we scream our blood sugar up high with a huge bowl of oatmeal, a banana, and a piece of fruit like oatmeal and a banana for breakfast, our blood sugar goes flying up, and within 2 hours we crash and we crave and we look for the nearest vending machine for the next granola bar that we grab and shove in our face. And this creates that up and down in our energy and our moods all day long. So this is part of the processed food, but this also creates stress and disease. This is the beginning of type 2 diabetes, actually. Increased insulin need, inflammation can manifest in just about any symptom that you have is based in inflammation. And I know that we've had other speakers on that have talked about this before. So it messes with your liver detoxification. And we've just started, right? These are stressors that we deal with every single day, and we're just talking about our food. We haven't addressed the economy or world peace. This is food that we can control as we put it in our mouth every day. So kind of cool, right? So now that we know what we're doing to ourselves, let's move on.
You are stressing me out.
It's okay. We're going to take a nice, long, cool drink at the end here. So speaking of drink, what are we drinking? These are our liquid stressors, right? Soda, full of sugar or other chemistry, alcohol, which can be good and bad. Too much
thank
fruit
God.
juice. I know, right? Yeah, it's all about moderation. Too much fruit juice and too much coffee. What I hear a lot of my patients tell me is, 2 cups of Starbucks every morning, and probably a cup in the afternoon, and then 2 or 3 glasses of wine at night. So we're caffeinating to wake up, and we're wining and alcoholing to go to sleep. And that creates a whole different set of issues in our body as far as stress is concerned. We're asking our body to rev up to the speed of a Ferrari all day, and then we want it to crash when we want it to and sleep well all night long. And our body just is not really designed to do that, and we're asking it to do that more and more and more, and this creates adrenal stress. And when our adrenals get stressed, our hormones go out of whack. So this is just the beginning of that adrenal stress. We actually have an adrenal stress survey that if our members would like to text their email to a number I'm about to give you, I'll be happy to email that to you. The number is 630-473-3337. 630-473-3337, and we'll give you a self-assessment that you can look at all the stressors and score yourself for your adrenal stress. So that's caffeine and alcohol. Alcohol can play a really good role, and so can caffeine. It just has to be done correctly. So the sugar, caffeine we talked about, the awake, sleep, dehydration and detoxification. A lot of people walk around dehydrated and foggy. Did you know that foggy head can be primarily caused in your life by dehydration? When we don't drink water, our body is 80% or more water. And inside our cells, it's supposed to be 60% water. Our cells cannot do their job if they don't have enough water. And we wonder why our brain gets clogged up and foggy when we're not taking out all the cellular byproducts because we're dehydrated. And all the caffeine that we do dehydrates us more. So dehydration and detoxification are really, really key to to keeping our heads clear. So if you look at the early signs and the more mature signs of the dehydration, you'll see that just fatigue, anxiety, I mean, how many of us don't feel this on a semi-regular basis when we're not drinking water enough? Or even to the extreme, migraines and constipation, heartburn. A lot of this is just caused by the fact that we aren't drinking enough water. So we'll move on. What about movement? In our world, it's unmove. Most of the people I know are pretty sedentary. They sit, and we know now that if we don't move for 8 hours, you literally cannot make it up at the gym in an hour every day. So if you sit at your desk for 8 hours, maybe you get up to go to the bathroom, you grab a quick lunch, and you sit back down at your desk. If you don't move all day, and then you go to the gym, you are not undoing everything that you did to yourself all day. So it's really important to move at the beginning of your day, in the middle of your day, and maybe sometime in the middle of the afternoon, and at the gym at some point in time. It's really important to move. People don't like to sweat. They have painful posture, but all of these things are due to lack of movement, creating its own set of stress. And what about the thoughts that we think? The thoughts that we think can create a whole bunch of stuff. So a lot of people feel like, oh, I have depression. And what that is people getting caught up in their past. And it's stuff that we literally cannot do anything about. They get depressed because we get depressed because we get stuck in the past. We get anxiety because we're constantly worried about what's going to happen in the future. Oh my gosh, what if? And we know that 98% of what we worry about does not happen. So just stop it, right? Stop! How we think also is influenced by our interrupted sleep. When we don't sleep 6 hours at night, particularly women, when we do not sleep a straight 6 hours at night, our hormones and brain chemistry are directly affected the next day, immediately. If that goes on over time, it becomes a chronic issue. So that interrupted sleep is really important to get it to the point where you can sleep. Sleeping is super, super important, and we know that it also creates all that list of diseases at the beginning can also be created by lack of sleep. So it becomes this vicious cycle, right? So I told you, right, we're in the middle of this, and I told you you're going to feel pretty crappy because we're doing a lot of this stuff. I do too. I wish I could tell you that I was great at managing my stress, but if I don't get up and work out, and if I don't eat right, or I have that extra cup of coffee, yeah, the anxiety creeps in, and what if, and oh my gosh, what am I going to do about? And so
this is just one of the subjects that we have to talk about that women don't want to talk about. So it just has to be put out there. That's all.
Thanks. You're right. Totally. Nobody does want to talk about it, but you got to just start loving your mess. You just got to look at it and find stuff to be grateful for, and then move on and pick up what we can pick up and change. So the last few slides here are going to be all about changing what we can change. Let's eat right first. To me, this little array of food that I put up here looks a lot more appetizing than that list of 10 foods of chicken nuggets and processed cheese product that I put up earlier. And it doesn't take a lot to make this happen. If ladies and men, if there happen to be any men online tonight, I don't know, maybe they all got excited. If you will pick about 20 minutes on a Sunday afternoon at some point in time, just pick 20 minutes, you can figure out what your meals need to look like for the week. I'm going to give you one other tip about eating for energy. If you can have your protein cooked, whatever that is, even if you're a vegetarian, if you can have your beans cooked, you can have your tofu cooked, if you can have your protein all ready to go, the rest of the meal is easy. The rest of the meal is open a bag of salad, open a bag of frozen veggies, throw a potato in the oven or in the microwave, and be done. It's all about the protein. I cook a couple times a week. I typically have some kind of beef, chicken, pork. We don't eat a lot of fish in my refrigerator, and I usually have extra servings. Like I could almost always have someone over for dinner because there's always extra food in my fridge because that's my lunch tomorrow, and it's my lunch for the next day. So you can make those, and if you're super anal about stuff, you can even put it in little baggies, throw it in the freezer, and take it out the night before. It's so easy. You just have to cook 8 pork chops instead of 4, and it doesn't take you any more time. So that's been a big help for me when I realized if I can just cook on Tuesdays and Saturdays, then I'm golden for the rest of the week if I have my protein. Drink. This is all about half your weight in ounces. So take your weight. I know nobody wants to talk about, there's a good one none of us want to talk about. We all weigh 125 on our driver's license. So take your actual weight, not the weight you wish you were, and divide it in 2, and that's the number of ounces of water that you should be consuming, or decaf herbal tea. That counts. Fizzy water counts, as long as it doesn't have any sugar or aspartame or sweeteners in it. So the LaCroix water or Perrier or some of the sparkling waters, those count. That's how you count up your water. If you're a huge coffee drinker, you need to be downing an extra 8 ounces for every cup of coffee. And if you're drinking a lot of diet soda, same thing. You need to be downing an awful lot of water to get that stuff flushed out of your system because it takes a lot for your liver to do all that. And you're not creating health there. So what about movement? I have a whole workout that I will make available to you guys. I will shoot it on video, and I'll put it up on our website about how to do like a 5-minute workout at your desk. So would that be cool? You can just do it at your desk. You can show your friends around you and your cube mates around you so that so that your whole, so you don't look totally silly. But this takes about 5 minutes, and you will have better brain power, and you will be more productive. So productivity studies show that if you work for about 90 minutes and then you get up for about 10, you can be totally productive all day long. But if you don't give yourself those breaks, your productivity tanks after about 90 minutes. So you might as well go ahead, get up, do a couple jumping jacks, put your arms in the air, bend over at the waist, get your blood moving instead of sitting there all day. You're going to be a ton more productive, and you're going to feel better too. And so exercise has also been known to cause health and happiness. And that takes us right into the think right piece of all this. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. What we think every day is who we become. The thoughts that you think create your reality, and you can control them. So get up in the morning, and Louise Hay has always said for years and years and years and years, say the I am statements. I am beautiful. And talk about something nobody wants to talk about. That is what we look at in the mirror and say to ourselves. If your friends talk to you the way that you talk to yourself, they probably wouldn't be your friends for very long. And I know you've all heard that before, but it's true. We are our own worst critics. So think about this. If you are the ruler of your thoughts, and I'm almost done. If you are the ruler of your thoughts, and you are sitting up in your king or queen chair, and your townspeople are standing below you, and on the top of their heads, they all have a label. And those are your emotion labels, right? I put the little emoticons there. Those are your people, right? You can choose who you listen to. And when the anxiety person stands up and says, what if, you can just take your scepter as a queen. You can just take your scepter and play like whack-a-mole, right? Just whack that person right down and say, you know what? I'm not going to listen to that anxiety person anymore. Where's the gratefulness? Gratefulness, stand up and say something for me. Where's compassion? Compassion, stand up and say something to me. Stand up and tell me how beautiful I am. Stand up and tell me how successful I am. Tell me all the good things that I have done today. Tell me the good things about myself. That way, you get to pick the thoughts that you listen to. So it's just a piece of emotional intelligence to wrap all of this up. I will also include, if you will give me your email, and I'll tell you that number again. We'll do a free affirmation and an Eat for Energy download. So there'll be 3 different things that you guys can have if you'll just text me your email address, 630-473-3337. And for tonight, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up here. But for tonight...
Yeah, we do have someone actually... requesting a consult from you. So if you could just repeat that phone number again. They don't want to get on the call or anything, but they just would like you to repeat that number again, please.
Absolutely. 630.
Oh, and by the way, if anyone has any questions, please message us, and Dr. Sargent would be more than happy to answer any of your questions. But for her phone number again, go ahead.
Yeah, just text your email address to 630-473-3337. And my office phone number, which I will give, is 630-682-5090. My office number is 630-682-5090. I also have a 4-week workshop coming up. And what I find is that everybody's very excited on the line right now. Like, oh, yes, I am going to take control of my food. I am going to start exercising, and I'm going to do this. And Monday is Memorial Day, and I'll start it next week. And you won't even remember that we had this call. So what I'd like to do is, it's like the Jacuzzi Experience, right? You're in the jacuzzi and you're nice and hot, but the minute you get out, you forgot that you were even in there because it's freezing. So what I'd like to do is create a longer Jacuzzi Experience so that you can actually shift things in your life and discover the why and how do you have time for all this. I mean, I'm a single mom, and I can fit a lot of this stuff in my life to help me be more on keel, right? Eat, drink, move, think, get my time together, and what is my why for doing all of that so that I can serve in the way that I'm supposed to serve. So there is a link. There's a website that you can go to. It's 0, S as in Sam, the number 4.com, 0s4.com/r/tools. And I'll put all this stuff up on my website, and it'll be easy to find anyway. But if you'd like to go there and sign up for our 4-week workshop, it will be $197, and that's 0s4.com/r/tools. Questions, comments,
Wonderful.
Concerns?
You know what? If anyone has any questions, they now know how to get a hold of you and
yes, they do.
where to. Yeah, exactly. They can text you. That's wonderful, and you might be getting a few, a few on there. Yeah, no, that's great. I learned so much this evening. I actually have a question myself, though.
Sure.
I was wondering what about the good stress? Can good stress be just as bad as bad stress?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question. Again, it depends on how you keep it in perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So over 40 females is growing like crazy, and that's awesome, right? But that also means that you're on a plane more often. That means there's other things that happen. So it's all keeping it in perspective and not getting anxious about what ifs and not looking back going, oh, but it was so good, right? It's staying present and controlling what you can control.
Okay.
And celebrate. Holy cow, celebrate.
I do actually have a question here from somebody. Why is it that when you sit at your desk for too long, you become unproductive?
It's very interesting. You become unproductive because your entire body, your heart rate, everything slows down. So the oxygenation in your system, your oxygenating system is not working to its full capacity. Does that make sense? And so your brain can't work as well as it could. You also create a whole different set of chemistry when you sit still versus when you move. And that movement that our bodies are designed to do, or God wouldn't have put muscles on our bones, creates a whole set of positive chemicals that puts you in a different zone for productivity.
Okay, and I have one more question here. Do you give nutritional advice as well?
Yes, I do. Actually,
okay.
I guess
they're probably wondering if you make a nutritional plan or that type of thing for people.
We absolutely do. Yeah, that's a big part of my practice. I am a chiropractor, but my specialty is functional medicine and really creating functional adults, creating functional people. I see kids too, so just creating functional people that can get out there and live their passion without having to worry about their health and that their health doesn't get in their way.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on this call and giving us all of your expertise and wisdom. And, I'm just so excited to have you on the radio show also to take this even one step further and really get into the nitty-gritty of what we're not supposed to, or what we don't want to say, what we haven't been talking about. It's just so important. So I thank you for, furthering the cause of women in health. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Judy.
Okay, great. Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Sargent. We are going to go on to the member introductions. I'm very excited for this part of the call because we have members all over the country from our 17 chapters. We select ones to highlight, and some people volunteer to have their profile highlighted, and it's just another way of us getting the word out there. So I'd like to say thank you to all of our members and start off with Elizabeth Clubb from the New Orleans, Louisiana chapter. And then we are going to go to Kathleen Carnegie Grant from South Atlanta chapter. She is the founder and president of Living Abundantly Healthy International. Love it. The next profile is Karen Zimmerman. She's from our Long Island chapter in Deer Park, New York. She's an independent woman who started a new career after being in the legal records management field for 39 years. Congratulations, Karen. Congratulations, Karen. Wow, I can't even talk. She's an independent agent from Aflac. We have Lori Latimer from our North Atlanta chapter. She lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you for becoming a member, Lori. And we also have our wonderful sponsors who, again, besides the members of Over 40 Females, we would not have a company without them. There's Cappy's Travel, and you can reach Cappy. Her motto is dream, pack, and leave the rest to us, which I fall into that statement every time and go on vacation for a few seconds in my head. Her website is travel-by-net.com. Dr. Kim Nichols from our Fairfield chapter, KimNicholsMD.com, Ella Health from EllaHealth.com. They are doing 3D mammographies for women. And Dr. Nichols, by the way, is a dermatological surgeon, and also SusieSaid.com. So thank you so much to all of our sponsors. And we have for tonight only an Over 40 Females online membership worth $120 is now discounted for just being on this call, just for you. We have at over40females.com our /online year discount. This is a special discount, like I said, just for you, and there's a free bonus worth $75 if you sign up tonight. I will consult with everyone who signs up this evening and give them a 30-minute free How to Be on TV workshop and also how to pitch TV. So that's a great offer. We are building our online chapter to have numerous benefits, and we're adding more and more each month. So save your spot now for June's online event. Now, these online events are soon going to be for members only. So make sure you sign up for as many as you can before we bring them over to that you have to be closing them to everyone but official members of Over 40 Females. So next month's event is The Power of a Plan, and it will be Thursday, June 12th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, thank you to everyone who came on this call. We had a great time with Dr. Sargent. She was so wonderful. She taught me so much. Oh, I'm forgetting to announce our raffle prizes. Okay, the winner of the first raffle prize is Carlita Belgrove. Carlita Belgrove is a member from our Westchester chapter. So Carlita, please email us at info@over40females.com. So you will get your raffle prize, so we can get your address and we can get your raffle prize out there to you. Congratulations, Carlita. And thank you for coming on the call, by the way. And also thank you for calling into our radio show the other night, too. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And we also have for Quiet Hero by Rita Cosby, Jackie Sanchez. Jackie, please email info@over40females.com so we can know where to send Rita Cosby's book. Okay, so thank you for joining us again for the S word, stress. We hope you learned a lot, had fun, and we hope to see you again next month for The Power of a Plan. It's The Power of a Plan is starting Ranit, I hope I say this right, Rogozinski. She's a certified financial planner and wealth advisor, and we have a lot to learn in that area also. Please contact us if you have any questions about Over 40 Females, or go onto our website, over40females.com. And thank you again, and good night.